Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. You venture out of your front door and walk in nature for just 10 minutes with Walk the Pod in your ear as your companion on your daily ramble. And we ramble chat about courage this series. It's been a terrific series discussing this extremely fascinating topic. And today we are wrapping up and saying thank you to members of the Walk the Pod Lunchtime Walk Club. Welcome to Walk the Pod. Now, we've had a fascinating series talking about courage this month, and it has been very interesting to hear your thoughts on courage. Thank you, Mighty Marcel, for sharing a few things that you journaled about this month in your courage journal. And we had a few thoughts on the courage to be happy from the Courage to be Disliked book by Fumitaga Koga and Ishiro Kishimi. Their thesis was basically it is easier to be unhappy because whilst being unhappy, one is not taking responsibility for making changes that might bring happiness in one's life, and therefore it takes great courage to be happy because we have to be prepared to make and embrace change. I thought that was probably one of the most profound and somewhat scary thoughts in The Courage to be Disliked. If you've read the book this month, I hope you've enjoyed it. We also talked about courage in terms of the sorts of things I talk about a lot on Walk the Pod, which is turning up every day, just keep swimming. We mentioned Dory from Finding Nemo, and there was also some very interesting stuff about the courage to be oneself, to be slow, not to feel that we must rush. And I could do another series on the topic, I think, straight after this one, because I don't feel like we really scratched the surface. It's difficult having a theme because in a way you start the theme at the beginning of the month thinking, well, there's not much to say on this topic, and then by the time you get to the end you're thinking to yourself, well, now I know how much there is that I don't know and I really want to look into it a bit more. But we must move on, dear friends. We must move on and talk about another topic next month when we come back for series 56. Can you believe it? So before we go, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the members of the Walk the Pod at Lunchtime Walk Club. Rob in New Zealand, Mighty Marcel in the Netherlands, and Cindy in Nebraska. And in the UK, Catherine in Ealing, Nick in Worcester, Jim in Manchester, Hannah, Sam and Katie in southwest London, Helen in Crystal Palace, John in Muswell Hill, Hilary from Trundle, Mum in the beautiful Malvern Hills, Dad in rural Norfolk, and Rear Admiral Tim in the independent People's Republic of Croydon. Thank you to everyone who supports via the other Patreon tiers, via Podbean, via Substack, and Walk the Pod artwork is by Tristan Mitchell in the Bigfoot studio in Cornwall in the southwest of the UK, and music by Lawrence Owen. And our marketing, as I have mentioned before, is by word of mouth. I put a little advert in the Anne Friedman newsletter at the beginning of this series, but I don't have enormous amounts of marketing resources, so if you could tell somebody about Walk the Pod and how it can help you take 10-minute daily walks in nature, I would enormously. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, I'm walking to the tube station today. I actually have a fairly nasty toothache, which is currently under control due to some hardy paracetamol, but I need to get it sorted out. So I'm actually walking along roads, which I wouldn't normally do when I'm making the podcast because it's a bit noisy in the background. So thank you for bearing with. I can see a red 413 bus, an electric bus hoving off into the distance. I can see builders in high-vis jackets on a building project ahead of me. They're just putting the roof on now, having been working on it for many months. And I'm actually in a particularly suburban sort of bit of road, so trees, houses, cars all around. There's a beautiful magnolia tree just here, and Helen has been sharing photos of the magnolia tree near her house for the last couple of weeks because it is very nearly ready to pop. This one has popped and is a beautiful sort of purpley pink colour. It's kind of, the air temperature is warm now. It's settled into being a spring-like air temperature, which is really nice. But it's very, very overcast today. So we don't have blue sky, sadly. Yesterday, the sun was shining, the sky was blue. It was like a summer day, really. But today it's a bit more spring-like, a little bit more muted, and not quite as exciting. But it's not cold, and I'm very grateful for that. Just walking past the aforementioned building site now. A couple of big red Biffa Paladin bins on the sidewalk here, and another bus going past. And it's bin day, so congratulations to everybody who celebrates bin day on a Friday with us. It's always quite exciting. And if you have embraced something courageous this month, having been listening to the episodes, give yourself a pat on the back. It's not easy to summon up new courage, to put down boundaries, to make our own needs known, to be clear with others about what's important to us. And I know some of you have been doing that this month and summoning up fresh courage that possibly you haven't done before. So I salute you from over here in southwest London, and I hope that it has made you feel a bit more like you have some dice and you have some influence over what happens in your world, because I think that's the point probably of courage. Very grateful to you for walking with me this month. It has been absolutely lovely to see the spring weather coming in at long last, to see the plants and the trees bursting into some kind of colour. I found a poem by Philip Larkin today that I wanted to read you. Just see whether I can read this. The trees are coming into leaf like something almost being said. The recent buds relax and spread. Their greenness is a kind of grief. Is it that they are born again and we grow old? No, they die too. Their yearly trick of looking new is written down in rings of grain. Yet still the unresting castles thresh in full-grown thickness every May. Last year is dead, and they seem to say, begin afresh, afresh, afresh. That's Philip Larkin, The Trees, and I thought it was rather a nice poem to end the series, because that's exactly what the trees are doing right now. They are springing into fresh life. And Philip Larkin obviously struck by that. Wanted to write about it in his poem, so I hope you enjoyed that too. Thank you so much for walking with me, dear friends, this month. Very excited to bring you series 56 in April. I will be in touch with people on the Discord server and the Patreon to let you know when that series will start. But as usual, we'll have a couple of weeks off to send a poll round and decompress and relax a little with our walking. But there are probably 650 odd episodes of Walk the Pod out there now, so if you want to pick up on last March, the series we did last March, and enjoy that in the gap if you want something to accompany you while you walk. So you can always do that. And so take care of your beautiful mind is the only thing left to say. Yourselves and each other. And I'll be back with Series 56 in April.